carry on. So a press release came out yesterday from the Jamaica Constabulary Force of 17 men that they have an interest in finding. And of those 17 men that they have an interest in finding, these are persons of interest, critical persons of interest in the St. Andrew South Division. Of those 17 men, they do not know the names of 10. 10 of them, a man only known as Mousy, a man known only as Gungu, a man known only as Fangy, a man known only as Bomber, a man known only as Neil, a man known only as Kapos, a man known only as Wrong Move, a man known only as Junior Fire, a man known by two names, either Grant or Bada, and a man known only as Dexter. What is a Kapos? And how do I help you find him? And it is for exactly this reason why I actually believe that we should find a way to make NIDS work. For exactly this reason. We have a country of less than 3 million people, and we don't know who they are. And I listened to the submission that was made by Justice Sykes. Now, I'm no lawyer, right? I'm not going to attempt to read the 300 plus page judgment. And the arguments that he put forward, I appreciated that he made it clear, because I understood what he was saying, right? It was everyday man language, and I appreciated that. It wasn't lawyering.
Yes, me too.
I appreciated that. And the biggest takeaway for me, and it was a point that you made yesterday, this whole notion of privacy, the preservation of privacy that's entrenched in Jamaica's constitution, that there weren't enough arguments put on the table that NIDS is not going to violate your privacy. But for me, there's a clear distinction between privacy and anonymity. And for me, there are very many Jamaicans who are anonymous. Is more than privacy. Privacy for me is, as a state, I'm not going to spy on you. Privacy for me is, as a state, I am not going to intrude on your moments that you want to hold sacred, right? Which is different from, I want to know who you are and where I can find you. I want to know if you feature in a crime that this is Patria's fingerprint versus Khalila's fingerprint. For me, I believe in it. I think as a nation state, there are some basic things that the country must have. Beyond your birth certificate, as you mature, as you grow, I need to know what you look like every 5 years. I need to know what you look like every 5 years. And that face must be attached to a name and an address. Basic. And we don't have those things. I remember a Gleaner article that came out in 2017 that said of the 1,500 and something murders that happened that year, more than half of those murders, they don't even know where to start looking as to who committed that crime. And it wasn't an absence of evidence. It wasn't an absence of descriptions by people of eyewitnesses saying this is what the man looked like, these very vague descriptions that you couldn't tell the difference between King and me. It wasn't for an absence of fingerprints on the scene. But you can't match it to anything. You have no, it is information in a vacuum. When you're going to come and tell me as a police force that you're looking for Fangy, what should I do with that information? What is a Fangy?
Look for somebody with fangs.
Exactly. Am I looking for Dracula? And this is for me the crux of the matter. The fact that as a nation state, you cannot identify somebody by name and face and address, and I will push it one step further. I'm okay with the state updating your fingerprint every 5 years. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It was the most frustrating thing for me as a child when we sat down at school and talked about and laughed about police collecting fingerprint, dusting for fingerprint at the scene of the crime. Because we were of the belief then, and a lot of us still are of the belief that it don't mean one God earthly thing. As a state, you cannot answer the question that if you got a murder scene today and 10 people die in Mobile, and you go to St. Andrew and 10 people die, and you collect a bag of evidence, you can determine whether or not the same person was present at Montego Bay, was present at the St. Andrew shooting. For me, NIDS has to be a crime fighting tool. The commitment is to spend anywhere between $1.2 and $1.5 billion on this system alone, that my children go and pay, and them grandchildren, and quite likely their great-grandchildren. If you're going to spend that kind of money, it has to fight crime. It cannot just be about the taxman. It cannot be about some religious, what them call the chip under your hand. It cannot be about those things. For me, it must be about fighting crime. Because where Jamaica is at now, that's the only solution I see on the table. That's what's on my mind.